The Canton Fair. Because it's such a vast topic, I'm going to break it down into different parts. So today is going to be part one, which is really about the Canton Fair and why you shouldn't go, okay? Don't worry, if you've already booked a ticket, I'm also going to be covering in other parts of this series as to the benefits of the Canton Fair, how to make the most out of it, and so on and so forth. But really, this is just to give you some further clarity about the Canton Fair, what it is, and so on. So, as most of you probably know, it is the biggest trade show in the world, with probably 20,000-30,000 plus exhibitors. It's broken down into 3 different phases. So it starts on the 15th of October and it ends on the 4th of November. And each phase will feature different product categories. What are the main reasons not to go? Well, there's quite a number of them. So I've personally been to over 15 Canton Fairs, simply because I used to live in Guangzhou as one of the cities when I was living in China. And for me to go to the Canton Fair was like going to the supermarket to go and buy milk and eggs, right? I wasn't buying a plane ticket. I wasn't paying for hotels. I wasn't paying for expensive transportation. Like, going to the Canton Fair literally was one metro ride away that took me 20 minutes to get there, and I would be at the show. And I'd literally spend perhaps maybe 2-3 hours just walking around, just seeing what's going on, just because I was in Guangzhou, so that made sense. But for those of you who are considering actually flying in specifically for the fair, there's probably a few key points that you want to consider. So the first reason not to go. So number one, flights going into Guangzhou are going to be super expensive. Number two, hotel prices are going to be about 3 times the price of what they normally cost. Another reason, taxis, transportation, everything. Because of the Canton Fair and the amount of people that it attracts globally, all the prices for everything skyrocket. Normal government taxis will refuse to use their meters a lot of the time. There are scams constantly being pulled left, right, and center. That is just literally the first reason not to go. The second thing, a lot of people use the Canton Fair or think that the Canton Fair is going to be like a brainstorming session where they're going to discover new ideas for new products and find new innovative items that they can sell that aren't already out on the market. If you do decide to go, which at this stage I'm strongly discouraging against, but if you do decide to go, I think you'll be really disappointed, because most of the stuff you'll see at the Canton Fair, you'll already find online, right? You'll already find either on Alibaba or on AliExpress or on Taobao or on 1688. Like, you're rarely going to find new innovative products that probably aren't already being sold on Amazon. Okay, so that's another reason not to go. Third reason, the show is absolutely immense. Okay, so I think probably the best way for you guys to do this is if you just Google Canton Fair and you look at the size of the Canton Fair pavilion itself, it's immense. To the point where there are literally golf cars that have to cart you from one side of the Canton Fair to the other just to get to different sections. Like, you know, you end up, if you do spend a whole day there, you'll end up walking a good 15 to 20 kilometers in a day, which is great exercise, but do you really need to be doing it is what you should probably be asking yourself, right? I guess another thing is the show is just, because it's so big, it can also be very overwhelming. There are so many products out there that trying to pinpoint and keep and stay focused is very difficult, because there are so many shiny objects. Like, you'll be walking around from stand to stand and almost every stand will have something that potentially looks like an attractive product. However, a lot of the time you probably won't be thinking carefully enough about whether that item is suitable for Amazon FBA, for example, potentially whether you can take great pictures of it. So it could be some incredible electronic hologram generating 3D imaging, whatever, like new technological product. Thing is, can you take good enough pictures of it to display that on an e-commerce site is what you need to be asking yourself. It's just product overwhelm. There are so many stands there and everybody's trying to have a piece of you, right? For you, you're fresh meat, you're walking around, everybody wants to grab you as a trader. So you need to A, be super vigilant, and B, be very, very focused. And it's very difficult to stay focused in such a vast place. Another reason is, look, a lot of the companies that are attending the Canton Fair, most of the time will tend to be trading companies. They'll very rarely be actual factories. That's not to say that factories won't attend, okay? Don't misinterpret this to say that there are no factories attending the Canton Fair. However, a lot of it will be trading companies or agents or sourcing companies that have taken another factory's goods, paid the price of a stand and put their products out on display there. So you're ending up dealing with a middleman anyway, and flying all the way to China to end up dealing with a middleman or trading company is just not going to be worth your while. Also, a lot of the time, the Chinese suppliers are very smart. So when you go to meet them at their stands, after a very quick, brief discussion with you, they'll be able to tell whether you're a true sourcing professional or not, whether you really understand that particular industry. And the thing is, within 2 seconds, they'll be able to call you out on it. If you don't know exactly the technical specifications of any item that you're inquiring about, you're going to find yourself in deep trouble pretty quickly, because they will be able to spot that immediately. So it's really essential that if you do decide to go, that you go there well prepared, that you go there well equipped, and that you go there knowing what it is that you're looking for and what it is that you're talking about in every single product category. Like I said, if they see, they'll smell it from a mile away. If they start asking you technical questions about a product and you can't answer them on the spot, that's it, you're done for in terms of pricing. The prices are going to get raised up far beyond whatever you could imagine. Most of the time, 5, 6, 7 times what the actual cost price is. I mean, I've seen a couple of YouTube videos where people are featuring the Canton Fair and going around and kind of showing different objects and being like, oh wow, look, this costs $5 and it retails for 20. Well, in reality, after having lived in China for so long, I can tell you that that product that's been featured probably costs about $1, if not 50 cents. But because it's at the Canton Fair, it's probably being sold for $5. MOQs generally tend to be a lot higher as well. MOQ, minimum order quantity, you guys obviously already know this. They'll tend to be higher simply because they want to take advantage of you. They see you as an inexperienced trader. A lot of the time, it will be either very large companies or inexperienced traders that are attending the Canton Fair. Specialists generally won't be attending. So you'll end up doing a ton of walking to end up meeting trading companies, paying for overpriced hotels, and at the end of it, be overwhelmed by the amount of products. So depending on the amount of time that you've set aside as well, let's just say that you do, for example, find, I don't know, 5 or 10 good suppliers. The thing is, the Canton Fair attracts suppliers from all over China. So you'll have people coming in from Beijing, from Qingdao, from Sichuan province, from Guangdong, from different places in Guangdong province. Like, those guys are going to be focused on the Canton Fair. If you meet them at the fair and you say, I want to go and visit your factory, they're going to say, sorry, we haven't got anybody to accommodate you. So it's the amount of time that you're going to need to spend in China if you do decide to attend the fair, and whether you're going to be able to actually attend the factories and go and inspect the factories and go and do your due diligence. Are you going to have the time to do it if you're actually at the show? Having said all of this, I would say personally, as this part 1, these are the main reasons not to go.